I'd switched wagons halfway through the journey, drawn by her stories of the town's history. Perhaps it is, little star. Or perhaps the magic hasn't arrived yet. We set up our camp in the meadow just outside town, as we always did. The wagons formed a protective circle, with our cooking fire in the center and space for dancing when evening came. I helped raise the colorful banners that announced our presence to the townspeople: palm readings, crystal gazing, musical entertainment, and dancing under the stars. But first, I wanted to see the flower festival. I'm going to walk through the market, I announced, slipping my feet into soft leather slippers. I preferred to go barefoot, but grandmother always insisted we show respect for the local customs when we first arrived in a new place. Take someone with you, Uncle Dimitri called out. He was a bear of a man with a voice that could carry across a valley, but his heart was gentle as a lamb's. New towns can be unpredictable. I'll go, Esmeralda volunteered quickly. Too quickly. Something in her tone made me glance at her, but her expression was perfectly pleasant. I could use some new ribbons for my hair. Wonderful. I linked my arm through hers, missing the way her body went rigid at the contact. We can choose flowers for tonight's performance too. I dreamed of dancing with jasmine in my hair. As we walked toward the town square, I chattered about everything I saw. The way the afternoon light painted the cobblestones gold, the sound of children's laughter echoing from the side streets, the scent of baking bread that made my mouth water. Esmeralda responded with appropriate murmurs, but I sensed a tension in her that I couldn't understand. Hi, the market square was enchanting. Every stall overflowed with flowers, roses and delphiniums, sweet peas and snapdragons, herbs that perfumed the air with sage and rosemary. I was examining a particularly beautiful strand of jasmine when I heard a familiar voice. Lavinia? What a delightful surprise! I turned to find Marcus approaching with a bunch of wildflowers in his hands. He was exactly as I remembered, tall and lean, with dark hair that seemed determined to fall across his forehead despite his efforts to smooth it back. His clothes marked him as a merchant's son, well-made but practical, and his smile was warm and genuine. Marcus, I said, genuinely pleased. How wonderful to see you again. Are you visiting Millbrook for the flower festival too? A slight flush colored his cheeks. Actually, yes, I heard about the festivities. These are for... He seemed to gather his courage. These are for you, if you'd accept them. The wildflowers were beautiful. Daisies and cornflowers, Queen Anne's lace and wild roses. But more than their beauty, I was touched by the gesture. They're lovely, I said, accepting the bouquet. Thank you. Beside me, Esmeralda made a small sound, almost like a hiss. When I glanced at her, her face was composed, but her hands were clenched at her sides. Are you feeling well? I asked her. You look pale. I'm fine, she said tightly. Perhaps we should return to camp. The sun is getting hot. But I wasn't ready to leave. The festival was magical, Marcus's company was pleasant, and I felt that familiar pull of connection that told me I was exactly where I needed to be. Actually, Marcus said, I was wondering if you might like to see the old church. It's just up that hill, and they say the view of the valley is spectacular. I can escort you both, if you'd like. My heart leaped at the suggestion. I loved high places, loved the way the world spread out below, like a living map. That sounds perfect. I'd rather stay here, Esmeralda said quickly. My head is beginning to ache. Lavinia, you shouldn't go alone with a stranger. But Marcus isn't a stranger, I protested. We've met several times now, and it's broad daylight, with people all around. What could possibly happen? Marcus's expression was carefully neutral, but I caught something flickering in his eyes. Relief? I understand your friend's concern, he said.